Have you ever watched that viral video?
You just got $1 trillion. Not a million, not a billion, a trillion.
The idea was insane, brilliant, but also impossible. Even Jack Pockets, the creator, admitted at the end, spending $1 trillion in just 24 hours is next to impossible. Why? Because a trillion isn't just a big number, it's 1,000 billion. No matter how rich or reckless you are, you just can't drop that kind of money in a single day. Not unless you're trying to buy an entire continent. So, I thought, what if we made the challenge a little more possible? Still insane, but not impossible. So here's a new task for you. We're dialing it down, just a little. Not $1 trillion, but $990 billion. And instead of 24 hours for the next 30 days, $33 billion lands in your account. Every single morning. Just hold up. There are few rules that you have to understand.
Rule number 1. Every single day, you'll receive $33 billion. No more, no less. Rule number 2. You must spend all of it by midnight. No saving, no carryovers, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And most important, rule number 3, no repeat purchases. If you buy jets today, you can't buy jets again for the rest of the challenge. Same with cars, or yachts, or even buying islands. Once it's bought, it's off the list. Spend every last dollar of it by midnight, or it all vanishes. Everything you've bought, gone. This challenge isn't just about spending. It's about being smart, creative, and maybe just a little ruthless. So, are you ready to explore this hypothetical mission? Trust me, by the end of this video, your brain will be spinning. Your morals? Maybe a little shaken too. But your imagination? It's about to go wild. So, let's go and build your empire day by day. It's your day one, and you'll have $33 billion. What would you buy? Maybe you probably spend the entire day just thinking, what the hell do I even do with this money? Don't worry, it's your first day, so let me help you out. Here's your day one move. Hire the 100 smartest minds on Earth. Economists, scientists, engineers, ex-CIA, maybe even a few billionaires. Pay them $330 million each for a 30-day consulting contract. That's 330 million times 100 equals 33 billion. Boom. Done. Congratulations, you just survived day one. Now things get trickier. Day two. The personal empire begins with 33 billion again, because yesterday was just the warm-up. Today, you're thinking bigger. Supercars? Private jets? Too basic. You go straight for power. You acquire majority stakes in the world's top 10 luxury brands: Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Hermes, Chanel, and the rest. Congratulations, you now own the global fashion empire. Estimated cost? Around $20 billion. With the remaining $13 billion, you launch your own private space agency. You hire elite scientists, poaching talent from NASA and SpaceX. Your goal? Private moon tourism by next year. Welcome to day 2 of building your trillion-dollar legacy. Day 3, owning the ocean and the game. Cars? Done. Fashion brands? Done. Space agency? Also done. So what now? With another fresh $33 billion in hand, you decide to buy all 50 of the world's most luxurious private super yachts. Every single one, fully staffed, fueled, maintained for a year. That alone cost you around $15 billion. But you're not done. With the remaining $18 billion, you go after something even bigger, a professional sports league. Not just a team, a league. Whether it's a major stake in the NFL or full ownership of the Premier League, you now run the game. Day 3, complete. Time to set sail in style. Day 4, real estate royalty to your own nation. Super yachts? Gone. Sports empire? Sold. Today, you play the ultimate real estate game. You spend $25 billion to gain control of the world's top 10 hotel chains: Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt. You now own the global hospitality industry. But here's the twist. With your leftover $8 billion, you create something that's never existed before. Your own artificial island nation built near the Bahamas. You name it, Trillionaire Island. Entry? Invite only. Population? Just you and your guests. You've just gone from tourist to emperor. Day 5, tech power and mind control. Your hotels are history.
Today, you pour $28 billion into owning major stakes in the 5 biggest tech companies that weren't already snatched up on day one. And with your remaining $5 billion, you create the most advanced private AI research lab in the world, pulling in geniuses from every continent to build intelligence even governments fear. You're not just building tech now, you're shaping the future. Day 6, Master of Art and Architecture. Big tech? Flushed. Now it's about legacy. You buy the 10 most valuable private art collections on the planet, from Van Gogh to Banksy, totaling $18 billion. And with the remaining $15 billion, you design and build your own futuristic private city. Solar-powered, zero emissions, self-sustaining, a living museum surrounded by masterpieces, both painted and constructed.
Day 7. Diamonds in the sky. Art? Sold. City? Demolished. Time to sparkle. You spent $20 billion collecting the 100 rarest diamonds and gemstones on Earth, the kind of stones even museums dream of displaying, but that's just half the day. With $13 billion, you launch a private satellite network, military-grade, global communication, surveillance access from your own secure command center. Congratulations, you're now officially everywhere. Day 8, controlling minds and giving them Wi-Fi. 1 week down, still alive, still rich. Today, you acquire control of 5 of the biggest media empires. Think Disney, Comcast, Warner Brothers Discovery. $25 billion. Done. Then, with $8 billion, you launch a global internet access program, offering free high-speed Wi-Fi to every human being on the planet. You're now shaping not just what people see, but what they believe. Day 9, shipping the future, saving the world. What's left? With $33 billion again burning in your pocket, you go practical. You buy the world's largest logistics and shipping network, Maersk, FedEx's global ops, whatever moves things globally. $20 billion, yours. And with $13 billion, you fund a worldwide clean water initiative, bringing sustainable drinking water to every remote village within 5 years, from cargo ships to compassion. Day 9, delivered. Day 10, digging deep, thinking green. Shipping's out. Today you go underground, literally. You buy out the 10 biggest mining corporations for control over the Earth's most valuable mineral reserves, $28 billion. Then, with $5 billion, you plant seeds, literally. You launch the largest tree planting campaign in human history, aiming to plant 1 trillion trees by the year 2030. Dig, extract, replenish. Day 11, medicines and missions. Your mines are gone. Now you're buying health itself. You acquire majority control in the top 5 pharmaceutical giants. Price tag, $25 billion. Then, with $8 billion, you create a global vaccine fund, open source research, targeting every major disease, available to all. You now hold the keys to life-saving innovation. Day 12, educating the plan. Today, you spend $22 billion to control 5 of the largest private university systems worldwide. And with $11 billion, you launch a global free education program covering tuition for millions across continents. Books over bombs. Ideas over empires. Securing side. Day 13. Protection and preservation. Knowledge? Check. Now you go full security mode. You purchase the world's 10 most elite private security firms, costing $18 billion. And for the final $15 billion, you establish a global anti-poaching and wildlife protection army. Not just cameras in the jungle, boots on the ground. Because with great wealth comes great wildlife responsibility. Day 14. Halfway there. $462 billion spent. Today, you buy controlling shares in the 5 biggest entertainment and gaming giants in the world. Cost? $25 billion and worth every cent. Then you pour $8 billion into creating the largest global virtual reality platform humanity has ever seen. A digital universe where anyone, anywhere, can connect, play, explore, and escape. Day 15. Today you purchase controlling stakes in the top 5 private utility companies. The ones that power entire nations. Electricity, water, gas. Price tag? $28 billion. And with the other $5 billion, you launch a global program that gives free solar panels to every household. Because why not? Day 16. Utilities? Done. Now you go after mobility. You acquire majority control in the world's 5 largest car manufacturers. Toyota, Volkswagen, General Motors, and the rest. $25 billion deal.
Easy. Then you use $8 billion to launch a worldwide transition fund, helping the planet shift to fully electric, sustainable transportation. Day 17. Today's target? Time itself. You either purchase or permanently fund the preservation of the world's 10 most significant historical landmarks and archaeological sites. Think pyramids, ancient temples, buried cities. $20 billion invested. Then you launch a $13 billion cultural preservation fund, using the latest tech to restore ancient heritage before it disappears forever. Day 18. Now comes the controversial one. You buy major stakes in the world's top 5 defense contractors: Lockheed Martin, Boeing Defense, and others. $28 billion to gain serious global influence. But this isn't about war. With the remaining $5 billion, you fund a worldwide disarmament initiative, transforming old weapons factories into green energy plants, from destruction to renewal. Day 19. Food is power. You acquire the 10 largest agricultural land holdings on the planet. $20 billion gives you control over global food supplies. Then you fund a $13 billion international research program on sustainable farming, with a focus on climate-resilient crops. Day 20. You buy control of the 5 biggest luxury goods conglomerates on Earth. The companies that own everything from Swiss watches to billion-dollar fragrances. $25 billion makes you the hidden king of high-end living. And, with your final $8 billion of the day, you launch a global skills development initiative, training millions in future-ready jobs across AI, clean energy, and digital craftsmanship. The final push. The impossible becomes real. Day 21. 3 weeks down. The financial crown. You've crossed 21 days. Now, you take control of the 10 biggest banks and financial institutions in the world: JP Morgan, BlackRock, ICBC, and more. $28 billion spent. With the remaining $5 billion, you launch a global microfinance fund, empowering small businesses and local entrepreneurs in developing nations. From Wall Street to rural streets, your financial empire spans the world. Day 22. Only 8 days left. Running out of ideas? Never. Even if the ideas are thinning out, you don't give up. You can't buy the world's top 5 charitable foundations: Gates Foundation, Open Society, etc. But you donate $25 billion to their global operations, making them direct executors of your mission. Then, with $8 billion, you build a global disaster relief and preparedness initiative, complete with rapid response teams ready for any catastrophe. This is money with muscle. Day 23. Time to save the oceans. Today, you fund the 10 biggest ocean conservation organizations with $20 billion. Then you launch an ambitious $13 billion global ocean cleanup project, targeting plastic pollution, restoring marine ecosystems, and rebalancing the health of the planet's blue heart. You didn't just dip into the ocean, you're changing the tide. Day 24. Let's cure the incurable. Next, you acquire control of the 5 leading biomedical research institutions, investing $25 billion into labs shaping the future of medicine. Then, with $8 billion, you create a global science fund, laser-focused on finding cures for incurable diseases. This isn't just healthcare. It's hope, powered by capital. Day 25. Let's rebuild civilization. You buy controlling stakes in the 10 largest infrastructure development firms in the world, from China to Europe to the US. $28 billion gone. With the remaining $5 billion, you fund a smart city initiative, starting in developing nations. Clean energy, green architecture, AI traffic systems, and affordable housing. You're not just building cities, you're designing the future. Day 26. You acquire 5 of the world's largest oil and gas companies: Shell, ExxonMobil, Aramco, for $20 billion. But instead of drilling deeper, you flip the script. You invest $13 billion in a global transition project, converting their entire operations to renewable energy within a decade. You didn't cancel fossil fuels, you hijacked them for good. Day 27. The skies are yours. Today, you buy majority stakes in the 10 largest global airlines for $22 billion. With the remaining $11 billion, you launch a clean aviation project, developing sustainable fuels and electric aircraft. From the runway to the clouds, you're flying into the future. Day 28. Knowledge is power. You purchase the 5 most valuable private collections of rare books, manuscripts, and historical archives for $25 billion. Then, with $8 billion, you fund a global digital library project, giving free and open access to the sum total of human knowledge. From ancient texts to modern research, everything for everyone forever. Day 29. The penultimate power play. Today, you take control of 5 of the world's biggest entertainment production companies: Universal, Sony Pictures, Paramount, etc. $28 billion. With the final $5 billion, you fund a global initiative for independent artists and filmmakers, uplifting diverse, raw, and powerful voices from across the globe. You just bought the culture and set it free. Day 30. The grand finale and the realization. The final $33 billion. You've bought industries, launched missions, saved ecosystems, and rewritten the rules of wealth. So, what's left? Legacy. You invest $25 billion to fund the world's 100 most advanced scientific observatories and research facilities, from CERN to Hubble, securing their operation for the next 50 years. Then, with the final $8 billion, you create a global teacher fund, paying salaries for every primary school teacher in the world's poorest countries for an entire decade. Education for millions, discovery for generations. All $33 billion gone. Every rule followed, no repeats. You spent $999 billion in 30 days. But this challenge was never just about spending. It was about creativity, the realization, beyond the billions. But wait, while you were spending all that money, did you ever pause to feel something? Were you actually happy? Because every single day you were forced to spend $33 billion. You bought luxuries, changed lives, shaped history, but never once by choice, only because the game made you. And somewhere along the way, you probably realized something huge. Money is just a tool. You bought industries, you funded revolutions, you cured disease and preserved culture. But did it matter if you were doing it only because you had to? Maybe true impact only happens when it's not forced. When you give from conviction, not compulsion. When the change you create comes from within, not from a deadline. This challenge proved one thing. There's enough money in the world to solve every major problem: poverty, disease, climate change. The real challenge? Spending it wisely, voluntarily, and without any agenda. Now it's your turn. If you had this opportunity to spend $999 billion in 30 days, what would you do differently?